Hello, everybody. This is Debby Enoe on with another episode on the challenges and triumph of online teaching during COVID-19 at the Female Educators Roundtable with my host, with my hostess Lynn, and she's going to introduce herself. She's going to tell us what country she's come from, what subject she teaches, and we are going to be talking about teaching and engaging primary school children. Over to you.
Right. So, hello everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Deslyn Warren, and I am a grade 6 teacher. I teach at First Choice Junior School in Grenada, on the island of Grenada, on my island in the Caribbean. And so, as a grade 6 teacher, I'm responsible for teaching different subjects. Basically, it's primary school, so you have to get a hold of all the different subjects. It's not where somebody else comes to teach another thing. So, yes, that's basically it about me. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it, and I guess I'm excited to tell my story.
Yes, yes. Thank you very much for coming on. And I'm really, really excited because she's from my country, Grenada, the country of my butt. So I'm just so excited. I'm just falling over with excitement because I know that the teachers in the Caribbean are teaching online, but trying to get them to come onto the platform have been really challenging. And actually getting someone from my country, to actually talk about how they have actually been teaching online and what some of the challenges and some of the triumphs are, it's exciting because the country is not a very big country. It's a small country. And the exciting thing for me is the fact that they are able to teach using the online platform. It's exciting. So what I'm going to be looking at is how are you engaging the primary school children in all this different, looking at the various subjects to actually gauge their attention and actually hold their attention while teaching online. How are you able to do that?
Okay. So firstly, it was a bit of a challenge because, it's something new, and it's like we were taken and just thrown into the deep waters, and then we had to adjust. So before we actually started it, and so I decided to go on and look up different things, and right now Google and the internet is our friend. So I went on that avenue, and I looked up different things, Google Classroom. How can I engage them? It was a bit difficult at first because remember, the children themselves, they are new to this. So imagine me for myself, I'm flustered. I expect my children, they were even worse. So I had to calm them down, and gradually we got into it. So I engaged them by having the online classes on Zoom, and we know Zoom, well, they are limited to 40 minutes. So, and I like that they were limited in that I could have given them a break before they come back on. So probably I would say, okay then, so after we have the break, go get a bottle of water or go get something light, and then we'll come back again. So that way they're not sitting in front of the computer for a lengthy period of time, because we know after a while that can be detrimental to their eyes. So I engage them by that. On the Zoom classes, like I share my screen, we read, we talk. What I used to do before is like put them in groups. So we had like breakout rooms. So I would put them in that to work with each other, and so like that. Then I would share like videos and so forth. So with that, I even have an online, I got an online platform where I can put my quiz. And so I put my quiz there. That's the way I quiz them. I give them a certain amount of time, and it grades them. So that way they see their grade right as they finish. What I did as well, I used a platform where called Quizzes, where they have different memes. And so if somewhere during the quiz, like maybe on question 5 out of 10, it seems like they probably might have been gotten a few wrong, the meme will pop up and say, you can do this, and so forth. So it has been very excited. We're still, every day there's something new that pops up, but we're coping and we're making it.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that. So how many children do you have in your classroom?
I have 19 students in my class.
Okay. So what have the attendance rate been like online?
The attendance rates have been 17, 16.
Whoa.
Yes, yeah. The attendance has been good, you know, because
Fantastic.
we told the parents, and so, well, this is it. And it doesn't matter to me. I tell them, even though it's a phone that you have, that is quite okay. Whatever it is, we will cope with it. So some of them might have a phone that the camera probably might not work. Once the parents tell me, then I'm able to adjust. Now, firstly, when we just started, it was a bit challenging, being that everybody camera was off, so everybody's kind of shy. So I started to like engage them. So I always had my camera on, and then I made a class rule where that we have to put on all cameras unless something is wrong with the device. Or if we're sharing our screen, then we might cut off the camera so that, you know, it wouldn't pull that much. So I had made that a class rule, and then it has been great. It has been awesome. So that way I can see exactly what the students are doing at a time. So I might see somebody probably leaning down. So I might know, okay, then they're probably getting a little tired. Maybe I should take a break, take a 2-minute break, make them get up, stretch, go back, sit down. And so, with that, I have tried my best to see how I can get them to be engaged as well. It has been, up to now, it has been a challenge, but gradually they have been coming along. Also, what I do at the end of my meetings, like when I'm finished, so I have 2 sessions. I have a morning period and I have an afternoon session. Sometimes I may give them a break in the afternoon session, so they may not come on. But after every session, what I do is that I start a new meeting and I leave them on with their friends. So which means that I'm not there. I just listen, but I leave. I probably might go do something else, and I leave them on like to chat with their friends, because it's tough for them. They haven't seen their friends in months. They're not able to go outside as they should, and so forth. So I let them have that time. If they want to share their screen, so they can show their friends probably the things that they have been doing around the house, whether it is whether they would have planted something, or they would have grown something or cook something. So I leave that for them to do. I leave that time so that they can come on and mingle with each other without me being there. Yes, so
that's fantastic, though. That's fantastic. So thank you. So for every subject, so for example, you were saying that one of the things in terms of giving them quiz, right? So you teach, so okay, that was for English, right?
Yes. So say for no, I give them quiz on all. So say for example, okay, for math, for example, we have different things like the concept, the skills, and so I would try that with them, which means that not every single time I do PowerPoint presentations. 90% or 95% of my courses of the subject are taught with PowerPoint presentations, because I realized that just sitting there with them behind the screen and they're not having anything to interact with, it becomes a bit tedious and becomes a bit boring. So I put it on a PowerPoint, and where that sometimes at the end of the PowerPoint I might have a little quiz, or where I might quiz them, or I put like emojis or things that moves, animations across the screen. That way getting them to feel excited. So sometimes something like a jump scare might come and they might back from the screen. It's just to get them to make sure that they're there with me and they're connecting with me. So so for math, and so I share my screen a lot, and I have them write. So I also have them write, because I don't want them to get so much typing, and they lose they lose the skill, their motor skills. So what I decided to do that, because this is a class that's preparing for secondary school, because that's the last grade in primary school until they go off to secondary school. What I decided to do is that to get them to do like online, or not online, like in class quizzes with me. So they have on their camera, and I'm giving them the quiz on the screen, and I'm looking at everybody. So everybody at that point in time, they sit, they do what they have to do, and then their parents would take a picture and send it for me, either through my WhatsApp or through my email. And that has been quite successful. And then with WhatsApp, and so, you know, sometimes you can correct it. You can correct it even with WhatsApp, with the painting. And so I correct it and I send it back to their parents. Another thing that I did as well, even though I give homework mostly every day, I give homework and I send it to my WhatsApp chat so my parents can see that. And I have the parents have been very cooperative. They are excellent. They have been very cooperative. Some of them, if they have a problem, they would call me, even though it's 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock in the night. Sometimes I may see a call coming in from a parent, and you know, okay, then that child is having some trouble. And I told them that's okay, you can call me at any time, because this time is when the children need us most. So if it's on a Saturday and you think they're not getting through, feel okay to call me. Let them call me. So now some of the children, they get so brave, they call me even out of school, probably just to see how I'm doing or send me a message. And then that's really sweet. I like that. They put a smile on my face. They are very, very interested in the things, in the subjects and so. And next thing I do, that was math for English for HFLE, something that we did and which was really unique. What I did is that I had them we did a don't rush video. So we had different challenges and things that are coming out. So we had this don't rush challenge. So I told them we talk about grooming and tidying and how we should keep ourselves and so. So I had them, and then I myself had to be a part of the don't rush challenge as well. Maybe sometime a little later on, I probably could show it if you're interested in seeing it.
Yes.
So it was really, really excited. I was shocked at the videos that were coming in, and I seen my students. So they had to be doing any activity at first, and then they had to get a book. And when they get a book, they go into their school uniform. And what I did was I took all the videos after and I put it together, and they were amazed at how they looked at, and what that online learning has done. It has been able to expose students who have a lot of technical skills. So those students who would have liked the editing, and so all of that is coming out now, and I think it's awesome.
That's fantastic. It's interesting because you seem to be having so much fun with this online platform.
Yes, I have been having fun. I have to have fun because I have to make it fun for my kids. I really don't, even though this COVID and so has passed and it's still in the air, I don't want them to feel depressed. I don't want them to feel like there isn't someone there. I want them to feel like, yes, we're still in school. So I told them, even though they want to plait their hair nice and come and sit, I have no problem in that. If you want to put on your school clothes and come, I have no problem in that as well. That way you get them different, interested and so. So coming up, and so, well, this is the closing of school this week. So I have a virtual field trip with them, and on that virtual field trip, we'll be going to places like taking a virtual trip of the White House, the palace. And I told them, I said, if you want, you can dress like if we're going on a field trip. You can dress different zoos. So I looked up all these things to see places where I can actually go, like different zoos. And so like San Diego Zoo, I think they have a live streaming. So I'm going to take my children on, and I told them we can go through it, and they can ask questions, and we can have fun. So they're going to come sit with their snacks. And so I said, whenever we're going to have our snacks, we're going to have our drinks, take a toast. And these things is just to get them feeling, of course, they know they're not there, but any way that I can make it as fun as possible, I do that. And added to that, they also have a program. The school has a program where they have food and nutrition and physical education. On 1 day per week, the physical education teacher comes on and has classes with them early in the morning. So they do their stretches, and so they do their warm up and different exercises that get them moving and ready. So and food and nutrition as well. They have they come on and they cook with the cook in the school, the chef in the school. She comes on and she teach them different meals and so on. And then when they finish, they send pictures and so. So at the end of this, I told them, at the end of this, you should be able to tell mommy, that's okay, I got breakfast this Sunday, or I got breakfast this morning. So it's very interactive with them, just to get them out there. So at least when they come out of COVID and COVID has passed, and so they have gained all these skills, which are not only academically, but life skills that they can take with them.
Yeah, it really sounds as if, you're actually thinking outside of the box. Not only academically, but outside of the box in terms of being able to cook, being able to, to prepare a balanced meal. That's fantastic. Yes. So it means that, they're not only doing academic subject when they actually come onto the platform, they know they'll be doing a range of things, which is really fascinating because it makes them actually want to come. Another aspect which I really like is the fact that you're telling them you need to dress up and come. You don't have to be sitting in your PJs. Get up, get dressed as if you come into school, do up your hair. And I think that really is nice.
Yes, it is really nice. It is really nice. And it makes them feel like, other than, it makes them forget about everything for a while.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's just an hour or 2 hours. You come and sit with me in the morning. You have to feel like, okay, then I'm not home. Yes, I'm home, but I'm not home.
Yeah.
So I had to think outside of the box, especially because at this age, they are 11 and 12-year-old. This age, these children and them, their minds are advanced. So I can take that, I use that to my advantage in a way that I got them to, you know, to do different things. And they also give me ideas. What do y'all want to do? What do y'all think we can do about that? And the ideas that they come up with, you will be surprised. It was just, it's fantastic.
It's really is interesting. Just listening to you, you know, the interesting thing of actually me doing this program, it really demonstrates how when we actually go into teaching, we go into it because we have a passion. All my educators who've come onto the platform, they are beaming with excitement just like me. It actually demonstrates we see the job as, it's not only a job, it's a vocation. It's something which is part of us. And we just love it because by just talking, you know, you could see how the energy is coming out. You could see the excitement. And I've had that with all my educators, the excitement of, of teaching.
Yes.
That's the reason why I actually said that we need to tell our own story. Because when we tell our own story, it is a fascinating story. Yes, there are challenges. Yes, we know the lots of challenges because we are walking in a not normal condition, but there are also fun things because as educators, we have to be stepping outside of the box to find things to bring in to teach our children. Because as you rightly said at the beginning of the program, we were not trained to teach online. This is not our forte. When we actually were trained to become teachers, this was not even on the agenda. It was not even a module.
That's true. That's so true.
Yeah, exactly. And the interesting thing about it, as you say, you actually have, in order to be ahead of our students, we have to actually go online, find things so we're always ahead of them.
Of course. And there are a lot of ideas and so you can find online. There are a lot of ideas that you just have to search. You go on YouTube because this idea of the virtual field trip and of the places, and so I found that on YouTube, but by looking at a teacher who already did it. She was like, that's where I took my kids and we actually had to go to a zoo and we didn't get to go there. So I looked up different places and I realized this place, they go live with the animals now. So you can do that with your kids. And it's really, it's nice. I mean, we have not done it yet. We're going to do it. We're going on a virtual field trip tomorrow. And then on Friday, we have a movie night. So where they come with their friends. I told them, I said, if you have big households, you have cousins, and so you can bring them. You can have them on, and so you have your cousins, and so let them come with you, and we're going to sit and we're going to watch a movie. I'm going to host a movie. I even had yesterday, I had them choose. I gave them the opportunity to choose which movie they had, which movie they want to watch, and we took a vote on it. And we took a vote, and then we found one movie, and we said, okay, nothing wrong. We can have our movie. We can have our movie day as we would have done in school. Nothing is wrong with that.
Wow, that's really, the beautiful thing, as I say, is like thinking outside the box. And as educators, we are always thinking outside of the box. We are thinking on our feet and we're thinking outside of the box. Because sometimes you come in with a fantastic lesson plan. Halfway through, you realize this lesson plan doesn't work anyway. You abandon the lesson plan and you actually just have to teach according to the needs of the students.
Definitely, because at times I would have planned lessons and so on. I mean, I would have gone on to teach. And the stories and so that would come up from my children, time up, and I didn't even have time to finish the lesson. I said, but that's okay. I want to hear your story. You have to make them know that they are important. Yeah. So they are the ones that help me do this. I make them feel, I said, you have a story, go ahead. Tell me, what is it? Have you all ever been there? And what happened when you go there? Who did you go with? Yeah. These things make them know that at this point in time, Miss is interested in hearing what I have to say. It's not all about teach and teach. You have to teach. You have to have a passion for it. You have to love the kids. You have to love the profession. Once you love the profession, you realize how easy it becomes. It becomes normal. I tell you, sometimes I am up till 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm fighting to make sure my PowerPoints look good, or fighting to make sure that my lesson is ready for tomorrow. Sometimes I'm out looking for stones and so these things, and then now we're going to speak about rocks. Okay, then we have to find rocks. So it is so interesting. We did clothes the other day. I told him, I said, listen to me, I want you all to show me your clothes. I said, I don't care if you have to get cotton, but I said, whatever you have home, you take that and you make, and the ideas were phenomenal. It had people who had like pot scrubs and so because of the grayish color, and they had it like if rain was going to fall, it was lovely. And the things that the creative side of these children comes out, and I love to see that. They when they bring out that side, they make me feel like, yes, I'm reaching you and I'm reaching you. And the thing about the platform, sometimes people say that online learning, it doesn't cater to like the children who are a little slower than others. But I always think that you should have a technique in order to reach even the slower ones. So I have children sometimes who are a bit shy, they don't come out, they probably would not like to talk in class and so, but I go through my list every day. Everybody have to say something, even though it's one question you have to answer. And what I do, I leave the avenue where that I have my children, I have them don't feel like if they make a mistake, that's okay. That's okay. That's okay if you make a mistake. We all make mistakes. Sometimes I'm when I do up my slide, I have a mistake, and the child is, and my student said, "Oh, miss, you should put a CD." I'm like, "Thank you." We're all human, and it's okay for you to make that mistake. It's what happens when the mistake. So I have also adopted on this technique where I try to make them correct themselves, especially in math. So in math, if we are doing something and they would have chosen the wrong multiple choice answer, I would say, let's look at that again. Let's look, you read the question, you read it. And sometimes when they're reading it for the second or the third time with me, then they realize where they would have gone wrong. And I love that. So when they're able to correct themselves, it's highly unlikely that they will make that same mistake again. So the platform, it does that. It does create that avenue as well, where you allow children to come out of their shells. You know, when I saw some videos, and these are sometimes some of these children, you can barely get a word from them in class. But when I tell them to do a video, when that video comes and I had an agriculture science, I told them, I said, I sent a group of professions for them. I said, y'all choose from this profession what you all would like to be, but it's all related to agriculture. When I saw my children, I had some florists who they did their video with piles of flowers. I had some farmers who actually took up the tools and they went into the land and they were taking down bush. And I'm like, is that you? And I'm like, that is so interesting. Wow. That is awesome. Wow. You get the kids to come out of their shell. And I love that. I love getting kids to come out of their shell, to doing a little more. I always tell my kids, there's always more. Sometimes you think it's that, no, you can always go more and more and more. So it has been a challenge. As we all know, it has been a challenge, but we have to see how we can take that challenge and turn it into something successful, where at the end of the term, my children should have it like, because to me, I have those 19 children, it's like on their birth certificates when they reach in the class, I'm their mother.
Yes.
So I have them as my children. So my children, they have to, and once we start to see that, once we start to see those children as our kids, then it makes our job even more easier.
Yes.
Because you would not want to see your child getting something wrong. Or you would not want to see a child going the wrong way. So once we start to own them like they are our kids, then it becomes easier. So I'm like, that's okay. That's okay. You can do that. Those are my kids. You know, those are my kids. And it's fun. And once you have the participation of your parents, it makes your job so much easier. It does make your job so much easier. I mean, sometimes I wonder how probably teachers in the lower forms, you know, how they do it, because, you know, the smaller children, they have the attention span is not as much as the bigger ones. So I know it can be even more challenging for them. But all I can say is that let's make Google our friend. Let's make the internet our friend. Let's make YouTube our friend. Let's go a little beyond. If you have to wake up 4 o'clock in the morning and say, okay then, I need to see how I can how I can make this class interactive for my children. If that's what we have to do, then that's what we do. And what I have noticed as well is that with the online platform, it is so much more work.
I know.
Than being in the actual classroom.
Yes.
The amount of effort you have to put out in those online platforms, it is a lot. It is a lot. It is a lot. So, you know, you just, what I would like to say is that teachers during this time, hats off to you, hats off to us.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
And people who probably would not have at the moment experience that, or you know, sometimes like I have a friend and I would say to my friend, she's like, what are you doing up this? So I'm like, I'm trying to organize this. I'm trying to, what do you think? And she's like, this is 3 o'clock in the morning. You asking me what I think you should do. I said, if it's on at 3 o'clock, then I get up at 3 o'clock and I get it done. Yeah. So teachers have a lot.
Yeah.
Teachers have a lot. And with this pandemic that has just sprung on us, it has been really challenging. But we have been, because I've known other teachers as well, you know, and ideas, and so you get ideas and so from different teachers as well. They also say, okay, look, this is what happened. You can use this technique, because the ideas that I have, all of them did not come from me.
Exactly.
It did not come from me. Other teachers as well said, have you tried this platform? How is this platform working for you? And we have to be there for each other. It's no problem. Nothing. It's not, this is just I have found this and this is what. No, it's not like that within the teaching profession. We have to be able to share with each other. We have to be able to just communicate with each other. And then it's only then we can see the success of our kids. And then we can feel, at the end of the day, the kids that don't matter. You want the kids when they leave or when they go up to the next grade, when they go up to the next part in their life, they are prepared. That is why I believe it's not only academic, it's also our life skills. Teaching them life skills is important. Yeah.
It's interesting though, because one of the things that, you know, we've all discovered is teaching online is so much more work.
Yes.
It's like you and I just now trying to come on. When the technology works, it's brilliant. When it does not work, it's a challenge. You know, because we've been here earlier on over 45 minutes trying to get onto Zoom and on Facebook.
So and that's what I'm saying. That's the thing. Technology is good when it works. Technology. And I think too, what has really helped me is that the fact that at present I'm actually doing my master's in international business, and we have online classes. So when it came to like when we had to switch to online, like I had already known the platform Zoom, because that's where I had. So I was kind of at an advantage because of that. But then when I think about the people who would have not even signed on to a Zoom meeting or have not even gone into an online class or so, then they would have had to teach themselves, and it has been a lot.
And even in terms of planning lessons.
Yes.
Planning lessons, online lessons take so much more.
So much more time.
Exactly. You know.
It's not the usual. That's the thing about it. It's not the usual. It's not the one right on the board. And then because the children is not actually there. So now I have to think, how can I reach them behind that screen? And reaching them behind that screen is the most challenge of all. Sometimes today, because I have learned to myself, I've told myself, not every day you are going to meet the whole class. Some days, some children are just having a bad day, and that's okay. That is okay. You might reach half of the class today, but that is okay. But on the days when I can grasp and meet everybody, it's a joy. It's a joy. I sometimes I don't even want to close the meeting. It is a joy. I love when my children go on and on, and it's awesome. It is awesome.
I could tell from looking at you beaming. You're just beaming. You're exalting all this, you know. It's like the passion is coming out.
It is.
Hey, you know, the beautiful thing about Yes, we've had some challenges, and I've just said the fact that, you know, it took us 45 minutes to actually get online, and the same link I've sent you is the same, you know, the same link I've told you, the same link that actually got you on.
Wow.
So not interested in terms of this platform. So could you imagine when we are trying to reach these children, and you have a set time and trying to go on, and the platform isn't working, and you know, the anxiety coming in you as a teacher, and you're thinking,
yes. Sometimes it's frustrating. Sometimes it's frustrating, but I just try to tell myself, you know what? If today the Wi-Fi is not working, or if today the platform has decided to crash, okay, then I would just send my parents a message in a WhatsApp chat and they say, you know what? We can't have class today, but this is what they can do in the meanwhile, or this is what they can read still. So not every day it might work, but then that is okay. We need to understand that even though it don't work at every day, it's fine. It is fine. It will work again. It's fine. It's quite fine.
Exactly. And you know what is, as educators, we always prepared, because we're always thinking on our feet. So therefore, when this wasn't working, we said, okay, let's see how we could actually negotiate the whole system. So as educators, you are constantly thinking on your feet. You know, what doesn't work? Okay, this doesn't work. Let me try this, because as you say, you know, the online platform wasn't working. So therefore, you send a message on WhatsApp. And say,
WhatsApp. And then sometimes, for example, if the parents have not been able to check it right away. So like if there is something and I think, okay, then some parents, some of them who are essential workers, and so that was before they actually had before we actually opened up a bit more. Like I know some parents, you know, they are out there, they are nurses, they are doctors. So I know they will not be checking their phone often. So I might just give a buzz and say, okay, then whenever you get the time, check. So that when you go home, this is what the child has to do. And then they're understanding. And I'm understanding as well. So if a day it so happens that a parent, something goes wrong and then the child will not be able to do it at that time, I'm quite fine with that. I'm like, it's okay, it's all right, it's fine. We'll work around that. If we have to do it on Saturday, if we have to do it on Sunday, just to get, if I have to do it with you just after class, that is quite fine as well.
So, you know what I find, thank you very much. You know what I find as well, the online platform have made us so flexible. Some of the things we will not accept in the classroom, but that's online, true. We just accepting as long as they turn up, right? We just say we have.
That's true. That's true. That is so true. But even though what I've noticed as well, what I did in order to just, because I don't want an unruly class, so I try to make to set rules when I start when I started. So these are the rules of the class, and the rules have to be followed. If you have to leave, that's okay, but you have to let me know, so that if I ask a question and I call on you and you're not there, I won't call on you to begin with, because I know you had to step out. That's okay. So you still have, even though it's an online platform, we still have to set rules, because if we don't set rules, then they are just going to go up. People are going to be talking over each other. When they're ready, they're going to just sign off and not come back on. So I set different rules for them. And these are the rules. So when they come on in the morning, I play music. They come on to music. Brilliant, so they come on to some music in the morning. So sometimes, even in the morning, I was having some problem. And then one of the students came on and then she was like, Miss, where is the music? Miss, I'm not hearing anything. So now it becomes, once you set the rules, then it becomes routine for them. So they know, okay, then that is what we do at that time. And this is how it goes and so forth. So like to say, I cannot say that my children, they haven't been disorderly or disruptive or so. And if they have, probably maybe if there's activity that's going on and they get all excited, I still try to calm them down. Don't talk over each other, don't this, don't that. And they listen. Once the rules are set, and so they tend to listen.
So you think one of the ways for actually getting discipline in your classroom, you know, it's like setting the rules before you actually start the class.
Yes. So before the first time of the online class, I actually set the rules.
Right.
We set the rules. These are the rules. Okay, these are the rules that you are going to have. And what you do is, like, now and then you remind them. Right. So maybe once a week, twice a week, depending on how they are. Because most of them, they're okay. They can keep with it. But sometimes some of them, they need a reminder. They need a reminder. So, okay, then if we're doing, remember we doing an exam now and I have to see you, so you'd have to put your camera on. Don't forget the rule. Or for example, remember we have to raise our hands, and Zoom has a thing where you could raise your hand, you know.
Oh,
even
yes,
though, yes, so you can raise it. Even at the first one, the first meeting where I had children doing this, and so what I did was that I took a time and I went through it with my kids. I said, okay, then this is where the raise hand is. If you want to change your name sometime because the device you come on, you can do that. This is where it is. Until I call him an IT technician. So if something goes wrong, I even ask him, so what do I do now? And I knew that's 11-year-old who's telling me, okay, miss, maybe you should do this, or maybe, and it's fun. It's nice to see these skills show out in those children. It's fun.
Yeah. Thank you. What I also discovered is the online platform have actually made the children so creative, right? And I also feel that some of the children who would not normally be talkative, the online platform have offered them that. Did you find that?
Yes, I did find that for sure. I could kind of agree and disagree with that, because what happened is that in the online platform now, they tend to shy away a lot more. And the children that normally answer all the questions, they are the ones that tend to always answer. So what I did is that I tried to, some children, they don't answer unless I call their name. They don't answer unless especially behind the screen, you know, because especially if I share my screen, I cannot see everybody at the same time. So with that, no, I'm not really, sometimes for me not to miss children, I try to click my participants list and go down the list. Or I keep a list right here, a register right here with their names. So sometimes I might just glance down at it and I might say, okay, I haven't heard you for a while. Are you there? Are you understanding? And I tend to ask my children that a lot. Are you understanding? Did you understand what I said? Because I realize that in the online platform, you have to, it's so technical. You have to be careful how the message comes across or how the topic comes across. It makes sure that it don't come across too difficult for them. And it can. It actually can. It actually can. So with that, now I always ask them, do you understand? Or I call the grade 6, do you understand what I'm saying? Do I have to go over this? And so forth. Or sometimes to catch them, sometimes I know now some children, they tell me, yes, miss, I understand, and they don't. So I give them a question. So that way I test if you actually understand.
Yes.
Or I intentionally do something wrong to see who picks it up. So once they pick it up, then I know, okay, then yes, you are paying attention and you are understanding.
It's, you know, it's really interesting because what I also find is teaching online, it have actually made us use differentiation in the full sense of the word.
Yes.
Some children who need to probably come on at a different time, they have that opportunity to come on at a different time. And some children who might be shy within a group, they also have the opportunity. Whereas in the classroom, we do not have time to fully differentiate.
That's true. That is true. I've seen that, and what I've realized too. I see on the online platform, I take a lot more time with them as well. So since I've now differentiated who would what, I've now decided I'm going to break it up. So if I know I have students those that like to probably talk a lot, I would probably have them do a presentation. Okay, explain this one to me. Explain it. If I have children probably who are more technical, they like to draw and so on, I would probably give them a homework where they have to draw something, and then I will show on the screen, oh, look at this, look at this person's drawing. Just so that everybody at one point or the other, they always get in the spotlight so that they're not forgotten. Sorry.
That's fantastic. Thank you very much. Another, the other thing is in terms of let's look at tips now. What tips would you give to other educators who teaching primary children online and teaching a range of subjects. For example, you are teaching, in primary school, as we know, that's why I no longer teach in primary school. Better specializing. In primary school, you have to teach all the subjects.
All the subjects, yes.
Right? So what tips would you give to any educator who is a primary school educator in terms of, one, engaging the student, two, differentiating, three, getting them to be more proactive? So, what would be the tips you would actually give to them?
Okay, I would say the first thing, you have to be patient. And not only be patient with the children, be patient with yourself. Everything you do not know everything. And you have to learn. And the only way you can do that is if you start to research and you start to explore the different options that are available. Right? That's the first thing, be patient. Right? The next thing what I would advise is that for them to be creative in the way they bring across the message. So sometimes you might have to get on the online platform, you might have to raise your voice a little just because you're reading that story and it requires you to go there. Or sometimes it might require you to just probably just clap or jump scare the children just to get them active. Be creative anyway. Sometimes I have my children in the morning session at time go outside, and for the afternoon session I said you have to come in with your rocks because we did rocks that day, and I said come in and you have to explain. Everybody explain to the class what rock you found, where you found it, and so be creative. So in school sometimes we would have had them bring in stuff. You can have them do that on the online platform as well. You can have them do that. The third thing I would like to encourage them to do is for you to distinguish the different strengths and weaknesses of your children. Where are they strong in? Who are the ones that like to speak in class? Who are the ones that don't like to speak? Right? Who are the ones you think that you can get more that would do better in the technical subject? So that way we know how to engage them. Once you have an idea of that, you know how to engage them when you arrive in the online platform. And the next thing is to give breaks. Be sure to give breaks in these online platforms. You have to give breaks. You cannot just go. They have to be able to have a break. So what I did, I gave my children on Fridays, they have religious education. That's the next thing that we have for them in this whole school. So the whole school come on and they have religious education. Somebody comes, we have people come in to speak to them about God and so forth. After they finish that session on Friday, I don't have class with them. I give them a break. I say, okay, prepare for the weekend. Relax. You watch TV. You play a game. You prepare. This is how you prepare for the weekend. So you have to be able to give them breaks during the class, give them breaks on different days, different times. You give them little breaks. And next thing again, you have to be able to tell when you should stop. Sometimes you just need to stop. They've just had enough. Sometimes you might say to yourself, it's just one session, I'll go again. But sometimes you have to know when you should stop. So sometimes, like for example here, like days when it is raining so much, I notice that a lot of my students, they get kind of, because when it's rain, you want to sleep. So at that point in time, I know my children brain are going to go. They're going to go quick. At that time, they're hearing me saying anything again. All they're hearing is the raindrops falling and so forth. So you have to know when to stop. And finally, what I will say to you is, you got this. Believe in yourself.
It's
okay if you make a mistake, and it's okay if one time I tried this platform and it did not work. I tried playing a game with them and I didn't find they like it. It's okay. You got this. Always remember that you got this. So that's in a nutshell. I mean, there's so much more that I could give, but in a nutshell, just embrace the platform that you have. Embrace the platforms that you have. Play games. I Jeopardy. I just play Jeopardy with my children on different topics, and these are things you find it free online. I
Yeah.
share my screen and I play games. Sometimes I hear my children, sometimes they're making the noise. Just as they did. That is how you have to keep them in. Just find different ways. Be
Yeah.
creative with it.
Yeah.
Games, YouTube,
Mm. Mm.
videos. Find different ways to just bring them together. And then at the end of the day, end of the term, you realize that you will become successful. You
Yeah.
will reach them. You will
Yeah.
reach them.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
will reach them.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for that. It's, the interesting thing about this online platform, you said it already. I'm just going to reinforce it. As educators, we swam, and I personally feel that we've done a good job on that. We need to stop. We need to
We
stop beating
have.
ourselves up. We need to
Exactly.
embrace it and say, yes,
I got this.
exactly. I put something out on one of the groups I'm in, and I've said to them as educators, can you tell me what some of the positive aspect of online teaching and what some of the negatives are? I had so much more negative, and I'm going to go back in the group later on.
Wow.
I'm going to go back in the group later on just to remind them that, yes, there were a few negative, but the positive that's there, we need to stretch it. We need to embrace it. We need to also look at it as, okay, if it was in the classroom, how would we reflect on that? And what would we do to move forward?
Definitely.
Because I think what I'm finding is a lot of the educators are seeing only the negative aspects of being online because a lot of them are not technologically savvy.
Especially those who would, sorry, not to cut you, but especially those who probably at a later age group and so on, who are lower down, they probably find problems with it. But then but then I always tell them, like, for example, like I teach my mom how to use Zoom, and so because when she has meeting and that's okay, even though somebody else have to teach you, that's fine. You'll be surprised at yourself and the amount of things that you will learn. You will learn with these online platforms once you are open-minded to it. You must be open-minded to it.
That's very true. Is having a growth mindset that allow you to embrace it and feel that it is okay. I know for me, initially, although I used to teach IT, could you believe I used to teach IT? I don't know how I used to teach IT to my students, and it was a module. I was teaching IT, and when it comes to computer, there's something I'm thinking, oh my goodness, the anxiety steps in, but then reminding yourself that it is okay. You're going to get it right.
Of course.
As I was saying to you earlier on, when we couldn't get onto Zoom, I said, listen, we have to get onto the platform. It doesn't matter. We have to get on.
We have to find all the different avenues.
That we had to get on, and we had no option than to get on. So it's a matter of having a growth mindset that allow you to shift your mindset and be, flexible, be adaptable, be willing to engage in things, and also being aware that it doesn't matter if you feel a fool.
Exactly.
It's okay to feel a fool sometimes.
Of course.
As I keep on saying to people, I am an educator. I am not a presenter.
And
I have made a range of mistakes in relationship to me actually coming onto this online platform. But you know what? It's been fun. And you learn a lot from that, because on reflection, you say, okay, how can I do this differently? How can I change this? And as you say, something we need to remind ourselves, I've got this.
Of course. You've got this.
Exactly. Yes. It's just reminding yourself, yes, I've got this. It was challenging, but I've got it. And that's one of the things I'm constantly saying to educators. We need to, and you said that, which is fantastic, you need to be patient with yourself.
Yes.
And it is so important we are patient with ourselves. We need to remind ourselves that the pyramids wasn't built in one day. The pyramids were built over years, etc. So in the same way, we need to take our time and say, okay, yes, we know we need to teach the students, but we also have to learn it quickly to teach it.
Yes.
Exactly how you're going to be in the classroom. You might be doing a new subject that you have not done before. You know what? You need to teach yourself and then teach it to the students.
And then teach it to the students.
Exactly. One of the greatest way of learning is teach it to someone else.
Of
you know,
course.
and it's like, exactly, it's like on this platform, you teach what you know for someone else. For me, I'm always teaching someone about this platform. I don't know jack to the platform, but I'm teaching somebody else. You know, there's one of my colleagues in Kenya, she was saying to me, oh, Debbie, how do you go live with Facebook and Zoom? I said, look, I said, it was trial and tribulation. She said, okay, teach me. I said, okay, yeah, let me teach you. I said, but remember, I'm teaching myself at the same time, you know.
Of course, of course.
So there's sometimes that's, you know, that's basically what we need to remember. Stop being so hard on yourself. Embrace it.
Of course.
Be patient with yourself. And remember that nothing just happened just like that. So it's important that as educator, we constantly remind ourselves of that. Before we wrap up, have you got anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
No, I think I've said enough. I think I've said so much. I think I said so much, but it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure. Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it. And I hope I would have encouraged another educator, another teacher, another lecturer, another professor who is just going on to this online platform and seeing it as being tedious. And so I hope I would have at least reached one of you, and you would have, I've had multitude of challenges, but I've always found a way to overcome them, and you can too.
Yes.
We're doing this for our students at the end of the day.
Yeah, I love that. And the fact that challenges are there to make us stronger. Because we need to go through the challenges. Behind the challenges are the reward. And the learning is taking place. And once you've learned it through the challenge, you don't forget it.
That's true. That is true.
So those are the things we need to instill in ourselves, the same way we instill in our students. Because nothing happens without challenges. The more you have challenges, the more you research, the more you learn, the more you reinforce the situation. So that's what we need to actually, remind ourselves.
I was supposed to show the video and I forgot.
Okay. You know what? If you send it to me, I could actually upload it on the platform actually.
Okay, I'll send it to you. Yeah, I think that would be easier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you everybody for actually coming online, for listening to what we have to say. What I would encourage you to do, can you like and share the video? Because I do feel that some of you are getting some benefits from, the show, etc. So it'd be really nice for people to like it, share it, because you would gain something out of it. As Destin said, at times, it's like just to encourage one person. If we actually encourage one person, for me, we've done a job, because you've actually changed one mind. It's just one mind we need to change, and that person would then change another mind and embrace it. And that's how we actually, make a multitude. It's just one mind at a time. So I do ask you to share, to like, etc. As from next week, I would not be doing the show on my profile. It would be on my page, because Facebook, is becoming quite strange with this. That things like this, we need to start doing it on our page. So from next week, I'll remind people, I'll send everybody the link that you need to start moving onto my page instead of my platform. Thank you very much. I would like to thank everybody for supporting us, for coming online, etc. As I keep repeating, as female educators, we need to tell our own story. She needs to tell her story. And that's what I've actually created this platform to do, for her to tell her story. And that's what we're doing. So you're hearing it from us, the way we actually dealing with online platform, how we're dealing with teaching online. So you've got an idea of what we're doing and how we're doing it. Thank you very much, Facebook. And I'll be back tomorrow with another educator from around the world.